Okay, well, guess
No.
what? Too bad we're live. Hello,
Fuck.
everyone. Welcome
Start it
back.
up.
Okay, bye. We'll see you all later. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. We are back playing some more D&D, but tonight we've got something fun going on. If you haven't already seen in the title,
Like our normal Monday night game isn't fun?
it is
What
fun.
the fuck?
Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. You know what? I'm just gonna. You know what? Bye, bye, everyone. No, we're
Nick
doing
has too much power.
We're doing some Spelljammer. It's gonna be hella fun. We're getting
Gonna
back
be
with
lit.
our characters. We got all of our good shit going on. And we're bringing back Derek. Woo!
Whoop whoop.
Unfortunately, Jen could not be with us tonight because she has a family emergency. However,
Jen?
You mean
not Jen. Lauren. Sorry.
Okay.
Bye, Jen.
Ah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Jen, now you have a family emergency. You
Bye.
need to go.
All right, we're canceling the stream. No. I'm gonna just start introducing. My name is Nick, and I play Nemekvolka, a protector Azamar bard, and warlock now. I am from the College of Whispers, so I'm an ASMR bard. Uh, yes, I'll whisper in your ears, and I'll do some damage too. And I'm on a fucking spaceship, y'all. This is exciting, and I may have made a pact with a great old one. So,
Again.
in my spare
Boomer
time,
pact.
in my spare time while I was someone revisited me from my college days. Shout out to Kyle, aka the Great Cthulhu, for reaching out. Yeah, boy. That's me. We'll see how it goes in the game. I'm gonna pass it down to Jess, who's wiping her nose.
Oh, fuck off, bitch. Hello, I am Jess. Normally on Monday nights you see me as my Tabaxi Warlock, but tonight you are going to see me as my half-elf, 15-year-old literal child, Ashera, who is a ranger and has a giant-ass wolf companion who will bite your throat out. I am
You're
on
very
point
animated.
tonight, apparently.
You're very
I
animated.
have had way too much energy drink at this very second, but it tastes really good, so I'm just rolling with it. I streamed last night, so I'm also just like riding that high still. I'm gonna pass it off to. I'm assuming it's Derek that's in the middle.
There are no rules.
Yeah, just do it. Whoever needs to go.
I'm gonna pass it off to Derek.
Okay. I'm Derek, and normally I play nothing on Mondays. I am the great invisibility on Mondays. But today,
I'm playing the part of viewer.
yes, well, yes, I am a viewer. I do post the occasional D&D fact or trivia as the game goes on Mondays. You can check that out on the Twitch channel. Today, though, I'm going to play Irmos the Stricken. I am a mountain dwarf, trickery domain cleric. Pretty battle scarred, and I actually around my neck wear about 15 different religious symbols, and one of them might be a god I worship, and others of them might just be like hood ornaments I borrowed from other vehicles. You never know. So let's pass that on to. So we have Jen.
Hi.
Yeah, Jen.
Okay. Hello, I'm Jen. Normally on Mondays I play Ophelia the cleric, but today is not a normal Monday. So I am going to be playing Noelle the half-elf wizard, and she's the captain of the ship. And that's all I fucking remember. So I'm gonna pass it off to Sky.
Hi. Okay. Normally I haven't been in this campaign, so I'm just gonna pop up.
Right. Yeah. Sky isn't
I've-
officially part of the crew yet, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. So, I'm gonna play a Kadira, a goblin monk, who's a midget martial artist. Let's see how that goes. Just roll with it. I'm gonna pass it off to Oliver.
I will redirect it to Kevin.
Kevin.
since I am
All right,
actually part of the
perfect.
crew.
See, I don't even know how this works.
Yes,
Yep.
I will
Got
be
it.
DMing
Valid.
tonight. So
So I'm Kevin. Normally I DM on Monday nights, but Oliver was gracious enough to take the duties of DMing off my hands tonight because work has been stressful. So tonight I'll be playing Scabby. He's a red-skinned tiefling in a pile of filthy rags with a couple of knives hanging out. He is a hot mess on fire. And now we're ready for Oliver.
yes, I'm Oliver. I'm not part of the crew. I am, in fact, the DM for tonight, as I have been for our past Spelljammer sessions. Tonight we're just doing a quick little short fun thing. Nothing big and serious like the last couple of things, because we needed to take the night off, pretty much. So that's what we'll be doing. Now, to catch everyone up, the last two adventures that this party have been through are not really important to what is going to happen tonight. So if you're lost and don't remember anything, no big deal. But the short of it is that the crew woke up kidnapped by mind flayers, took control of the ship as it was being attacked by Nyogi, basically kicked everyone else off, and now it's their ship, with their first mate Githyanki Torkar, who was with the mind flayers, and once the captain was dead, decided that he was going to change teams, because he wanted to live and he didn't really care who he was serving under. So after that, the crew took their ship into the Phlogiston, realized that they needed some food, and basically took the first left out of the flow into an uncharted crystal sphere, where they picked up let's see, it's Ermos and Boris, who has basically been drunk in the hold for the whole time since they left there, and will not be appearing tonight. But hijinks ensued there. They killed a giant space abomination. They escaped with a bunch of food and beer, which is the important part.
Liquid food.
Yes.
I mean, we escaped with a bunch of food because if Boris is drunk, the beer's all gone by now.
Yeah, Boris is down in the hold. He's been just tossing him back, trying to find someone to challenge to a drinking contest. But I guess no one here is willing to stand up to him.
You know what?
So he's
You know what? We're gonna go. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so-
was gonna
no.
say.
You'll
Do it.
lose.
I'm in on this.
Fuck.
Will
okay.
you will lose?
But
You will
but
lose.
I'm from
I don't know,
space.
man. Won a couple drinking contests in my day.
Boris
Yeah.
is
You're
the guy who
15.
Boris
Yeah.
is the guy who starts with Everclear and finishes with brake cleaner. So
Oh God.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
That's
industrial strength cleaning solvent that Boris has
Yeah.
chugged, and still been standing
Your
somehow.
poor liver.
So, anyways,
he has 6 of them.
um,
Who
Torkar
did you steal the
warned
other
you
5
guys.
from?
Torkar warned you guys before that you basically had to make that stop to try and get some food somewhere, because there is a long section of the flow ahead of you where there were no other places to turn off. And that's what you've been traveling through. And at first, it was fine, vacation from all of the near-death experiences you've all had. And as the weeks have gone by, I don't know how you guys have been dealing with it, but there's been nothing but the food and the ale and the flow outside and each other. Nothing else has been happening. So you guys may or may not be going a little bit stir crazy. There might be some cabin fever.
Extremely.
You've probably, I'm going to assume you've probably been taking turns helping to steer the ship. It hasn't needed a lot of supervision to get it going. It's in the flow. you're traveling. It just needs someone there with like basically a hand on the wheel, making sure that it's still going. So presumably you've been taking turns. Who are we gonna say is at the helm right now?
Me, because I'm the captain.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll be up there first, just to kind of help out.
Okay, that's fine. You guys have this special Mind Flayer series helm, so several of you can plug in at the same time. I don't remember exactly how many chairs you guys had. It was
I thought there were
either
three.
Three
yeah,
sounds
okay,
right.
3. So Noel and Namek Valka are basically helping pilot this thing at the same time, and there's not a whole lot to do. It's just when you're in that seat. To recap, you kind of have this like sixth sense of everything that's going on in the ship and everything around the ship. If there's another entity like the Nyogi ship, you could get a sense that it was there. It was some sort of magical radar, basically. And for the last couple of weeks, there's been nothing on the radar, just the ship going forward. And then all of a sudden, something shows up ahead. And at first, it's just a blip. You can just tell there's something out there. But it doesn't seem to be moving. It's maybe drifting in the flow a bit, but it's not being steered as far as you can tell. And as you get closer to it, it kind of comes to you in the sixth sense radar magical way. That's another ship out there.
Another nautiloid, or is it just a?
You can't tell that it's a nautiloid. You don't think it is. It's got the shape of just a generic ship. If any of you have ever seen a terrestrial sea-based ship, just a galleon, it's pretty much that, just floating in the flow.
Oh, that's weird. We got the
Um,
Mayflower out here.
there's something else strange about it. Now, none of you except for Ermos really knew anything about Spelljammers before you got out here. You all basically just got kidnapped and ended up in space and had no idea what was going on. But your first mate, Torkar, he's a seasoned Spelljammer, and he's pretty much the one that has been responsible for charting everything, telling you guys, what you need to know, explaining things about the flow. And one of the things that he explained to you all is that when a Spelljammer basically docks, for lack of a better, hits orbit or whatever they do, around a planet or a planetoid, something with an atmosphere, they take a little portion of that atmosphere with them, this air bubble around the ship. And that'll last for a while, but if they don't eventually hit another planetoid, that air bubble will eventually run out. And that's bad news, as you can imagine.
I like
And
air.
yeah, air's good. I think most of you on here require air.
I think so. Do Asmars need air?
Yeah.
Technically,
Well,
I'm a celestial.
could try choking you and you could find out.
Oh God, please.
Let's not go there. Not that kind of
No!
Choke me, daddy.
Do not!
So, the one strange thing, besides the fact that there's a ship out here just sort of floating and not being steered, is that you don't detect any sort of air envelope around this ship.
Oh,
It's presumably its air bubble has either been destroyed deliberately or it soured and ran out. Now the ship
Ooh.
is just coasting.
That's
God,
not
I
good.
hate when my air turns sour like milk.
So I insist before we go further with whatever we plan to do with this that I consult the great oracles of my people, and then I step back and I just make sure that I just randomly like fish through the all the symbols and I pull one out and then I cast augury. Reaching and grabbing the bones to pass. And I just want to ask, is it a wise idea to investigate this ship?
I'm gonna watch the crap out of that because I'm fascinated by religion.
Okay. Now, Ermos, there is one thing you know that I don't know if anyone else here knows. Probably not, considering everyone else is kind of a newbie to the flow. The gods
Does that make us flobies?
Oh my
Pretty
god,
much, yeah.
stop.
Now, your cleric powers still work, but the flow is kind of outside of the gods' domain. They don't have power over it like they would on the prime material planes or whatever. So you're kind of outside of their sphere of influence, but you can still cast this augury, and hopefully it will get to the person it's supposed to. So if I can,
Well, technically, Ermos doesn't really care who it gets to. It's just give me an answer. You know.
So, the response that you get is wheel and woe. This is a double positive.
Okay. So with a flourish, I scoop up my things. I tuck that amulet, that symbol back in with the rest of them. I give them a good flick just so they all go for a second, and then I go. The answer is yes. We should definitely explore.
Sounds good enough to me.
I mean, they probably have supplies we're gonna need,
Yeah.
and as long as they don't have like face huggers on board, we should be able.
Yeah.
You know, you never judge a book by its cover. So let's go.
You've
over there, I
already
guess.
faced Niyogi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can't be that worse than Niyogi.
When you say
Creepy little
that.
spider fucks.
I mean,
I hate
they weren't that bad, but like, yeah.
Intergalactic slavers, they were that bad.
Listen, we had fun fighting them, right? It was so fun, like you and I and us.
Debatable. Debatable.
It was fun.
Okay. So, as you guys argue about the funness of the Niyogi that attempted to enslave you all,
Yes.
how do you guys want to check out this vessel? Are you gonna steer the ship right alongside it, or are you gonna park, for lack of a better term, some ways away and try to find some other way to it? Now, keep in mind that this ship doesn't have an air envelope, and your ship does. You guys can survive for a certain amount of time in the flow, but going without oxygen generally is not a good.
Well, my opinion would be let's pull up as close as possible,
Yeah.
because we can take some of our envelope with us. Some, as we go for a moment or two. Not like drag it all away, but at least. And if worse comes to worse, when we have to run back, we have a very short distance of no air to run.
Exactly.
And some of us might make it.
Some of us.
Some of us.
Wow. Okay.
All distances are far when there's no air.
Just take a deep breath. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If we need to, I'll just create a
Fine.
bonfire to keep burning the air that we don't need to breathe.
And if we're close enough,
Okay,
if we're close
whatever
enough,
you need to do to get off the same boat as Vecna, that's what I want to do.
if we're close enough, I can open a. You know what? If we're close enough, I can change you into a fast-moving animal, and you can just get there faster. So don't worry about lack of breath.
I want to be a
It'll be
zebra.
fine. I was thinking more along the
Zebra?
lines of this, but
That zebra is so specific.
So asking our first mate,
First mate Torkar.
what are the options for doing this?
He he stands on the side of the ship and sort of looks out into the flow, and you guys can almost see this misty outline of the ship now as you draw closer. He says, "Well, couple options. We can drift up alongside her and lash ourselves to her. Means we'll just be able to jump right over, and if we need to get out in a hurry, we can just cut the lashings and go. Other option, if we don't want to get close, we've got a wreck boat attached to the back of the nautiloid here. It's really meant for escaping during a shipwreck, but we could use it to ferry a couple of you back and forth. No air envelope going with that though, so you'd be exposed to the flow just done if we did that.
Just hold your breath. It's fine.
Flow poisoning is real, man. It's real.
It's not instant. You can survive a while out there, and if we're not going to stay long, it probably won't be too bad. But it's not healthy
Define
for you.
a while.
Um,
Minutes? Hours?
no, a few hours you'll be okay. You might start getting a little bit tired, a little bit sick. Any more than that, you'll probably turn to stone.
Wouldn't be the first time. Okay.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We're good.
Which option are you guys taking? Do you want to take the little wreck boat over there, or are you going to pull the ship up alongside?
Pull the ship up alongside of it.
I think the wreck boat, if we need to pull some big loot out of there, it would be great to have something to put it in.
Yeah.
Well, why
if
not
this
both
is-
then?
If this
Yeah.
is a supply run,
Let's just demand it.
Well, see, if we pull the boat up, we can just bring carts over.
Yeah.
If we've got something big, then we need to.
Why don't you just send me out into space on the other thing, and you guys take the take.
Yeah,
the
let's all stay on the boat and send folk out. Yeah.
like out into space.
that.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. Have fun.
So yeah, let's just get a ship.
whichever. I mean, it's not something to get tied up on.
Okay. Well, Namek and Noelle are piloting right now, and Noelle still stylizes herself as the captain. No one's challenged that yet. So everyone is basically deciding what to do as they just take the initiative, and you guys have gotten some experience piloting the ship, so you take a ride over right next to this other ship, and as you get closer, you can see that it's definitely clear that this ship's air envelope is gone. You have this like pink flowing mist that will like reach towards the ship and then just dissipate as it gets towards the ship, and that's the flow hitting the air bubble and just dissipating.
Mhm.
This ship has none of that going on. It's just fully in the mist.
Hmm.
Looks very spooky.
Ooh, it's haunted.
Too spooky.
Scary skeletons.
Possibly ruining that spookiness, however, is the name of the ship that's painted on the side as you pull up. It seems to be called the Enchanted Anchovy.
Oh my god.
Why?
This
Was
Whose
it
life
on
choice
a
was
3-hour
this?
tour?
You expect it's probably been here longer than 3 hours. So it's difficult to see through this flow as you pull up, but your air envelope does kind of clear some of this aside. You can't get the whole ship in, but you get about half of the main deck there.
Good enough.
And as you guys do this, you can see that the main deck is covered in what looks like rubble. Rocks, other little pebbles, like a pile of sand. And then this like basically cylinder of wood that's just sitting there by the mast. Nothing else.
Hmm. I'm gonna
That's weird.
Is there anything? Is there like a below deck portion? Is there like that we can visibly kind of see?
Yeah, it's a galleon, so there's several ways into this ship. There's the um there's like a couple of there's like one door in the front of the ship, where the captain might go or wherever. There is an entrance in the back of the ship that goes into another sort of quarters. It's like, the two entrances and then the deck is in between them.
Yeah.
And then there's a large set of double doors, sort of right in the front part of that deck in front of the mast, that presumably would lead down into the cargo hold.
Okay. I'm gonna go immediately for the area. If we haven't already kind of boarded the ship, I'm going to immediately go over to the area where the captain would be. Like, would have gone into, rather.
Right. Okay. So as you guys pull up, Torkar starts lashing the ships together. Something that he can cut real easily if he needs to, but enough to keep you guys stable. Namek Volka immediately jumps over onto the other ship, and these like crunchy rocks just sort of like skitter on under his feet as he lands. Where's everyone else headed?
I want to take a look at those crunchy rocks.
Crunchy.
Yeah, I'm gonna step over there right near Scabby and look at
Yeah,
those
are they
as well.
like weapon remnants or?
So you guys board and you take a closer look at them, and they're like this grayish stone. Looks like just broken debris. You're picking through them. Make an investigation check.
It's crunchy.
19. It's the crew, isn't it?
You start to suspect that as you pick out just a finger made of stone.
Oh no!
Oh, excellent! And
Oh,
I
shit,
just
my
grab
bad.
up a handful of it and I put it in my pocket. Maybe I can bring them back later.
I'll turn around and be like,
Or
oh
eat
shit,
them.
my bad, sorry guys, and then I'm just gonna keep walking.
It's gonna-
Right.
Yikes!
okay.
So Ashera and Noel, what are you two doing?
I'm just watching all of this happen.
I hold up the finger.
I don't want to look at it.
I'm curious about the finger.
Nope, I don't want to know anything about it.
Yo, Scabby, toss it here.
I will give Ashara the finger.
Now I'm just examining it. What is with this thunder?
I'll give
So
a
I assume
shot of the
Ashera's
finger.
boarding. Noel, are you staying on the Nautilus? Or are you going to
When
avoid
the
the anchovy also?
I'm gonna board the anchovy as well.
when you're left out here too long with no atmosphere, you turn to stone.
That's your understanding.
Nice.
That is a previous. Well, at least that's what our first mate said
Mhm,
too. So.
Although then I turn around and be like, we'll start feeling it though, right? We will have time to kind of get out if that's the case, right?
Oh,
the
yeah, it
last
doesn't-
time I was petrified, it took a while.
Okay.
Torkar shrugs and he's like, never happened to me. I don't know.
Okay, well, fuck you, but like I
I
was
got
just
better.
It takes a little time. I mean, before you start to feel the sickness. Are your ears itching?
No.
Do you have an itch right between like the blades of your shoulders right now?
Well, I always do at the most inopportune
Oh,
times, but like,
Sorry.
Namek Volka,
yeah,
why don't you make a Constitution saving
don't
throw?
you dare. All right, Constitution.
Just, no.
I should have a decent one. No, I don't. Okay, let's do this.
No, I don't.
When I see he's starting to get nervous, can
She technically.
sorry, can I use my ranged logger domain ability to reverse pickpocket some of the stony gravel bits down the back of his shirt?
Oh my god, don't you fucking dare!
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
All right.
I got a
What's that saving throw?
I got a 13.
Okay.
And my sleight of hand would have been bad.
You're you were pretty sure you're okay, but as soon as he asks you whether or not your ears are itching, you're not sure. They start itching a little bit. When you can't stop thinking about, like, are they itching? And they start itching.
I'm turning into a nervous wreck.
No, I have a solution for you. And I reach in. I actually have 10 bottles of brightly colored water that are just brightly colored water. They're
Ooh,
nothing.
pretty. And then I'm
And
just
I
gonna
pull
take
one.
them.
I pull out a green one, and I go, "Look, this potion here will help you.
Just throw it on me. Just do it.
Just drink it. No, you have
Oh.
to drink it. I can't throw it on you. It's not gonna work that way.
Oh.
Just take it." And I hand the bottle of green water over, with the sincere notion that I'm making it very clear. This is a potion. Drink it carefully.
I'm gonna drink it via the nose, like a neti pot almost.
Oh no! It'll
Um,
come out the other nostril
won't
if
work
you do
that
it.
way.
Okay, fine. Then I'll drink it like a normal person.
Okay.
Namek was very quirky, you know, like.
Quirky.
So,
Quirky.
as you guys are worrying about how itchy your ears may or may not be and how effective this potion is going to be,
God, this sucks.
all of a sudden, that wooden cylinder that was sort of sitting by the mast just sort of dissolves.
Oh.
And sitting there where it was is a very confused looking goblin.
Oh.
Okay. Hello? Question mark?
And that would be you, Kadira.
Who's muted? Muted.
Oh, my bad. What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Was that like a
The fucking space.
lifeboat? Like kind of escape capsule kind of thing? From judging, I mean.
Why don't you make an Arcana check?
Okay.
Okay.
Kadira, you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
You know what it was, but Irmos
That
is
is 17.
22.
okay. So, this was Scabby. You can tell this was definitely some sort of protective enchantment that was intended to keep this person alive. That's about all you can figure out because you're not really familiar with the Spelljammer magic.
Oh, by the way, I have some of your friends here, and I'll reach into my pouch
Oh God.
and the handful of the stone.
Yeah, Irmos, you have heard of an effect like this before. It's a spell called Softwood. That pretty much is used in an emergency to seal yourself up, hopefully, so you can be rescued. Now, Kadira, if you're paying attention, or have they frozen?
Yeah.
Oh no, Godzilla's
Oh
frozen.
no!
Frozen and muted.
I hate when Godzilla gets frozen and muted.
Sky, are you alive, or do we need to wait a sec?
I think Sky's internet
Okay.
is
I'm,
doing a
I'm
thing.
fairly terrified by a space goblin.
Punt it.
Yeah, I'm not too fond of space goblins either, but we're gonna give.
Especially
This
ones that
one
are
looks-
frozen looking to the side. I hate space goblins that are frozen looking to the side.
Okay. Well, while we wait for Sky to get back, that goblin is just sort of sitting there with this blank, confused look on its face. Like it does not know how it ended up in this situation.
Oh goodness.
Carbonite blindness happens.
Yeah.
Secure the prisoner.
Secure the prisoner. What do you mean prisoner?
What prisoner? Oh,
Uh
Oh,
What I
guys.
mean is, we need to tie you up, or else you're gonna hurt that poor goblin.
I'm
Okay.
alive.
Okay, good. Now, Kadira, you just woke up from this softwood spell, and you're very confused. But you do have some memories about what happened. You remember that you were a member of this ship's crew, and you had somewhere along the way, you don't remember exactly, gotten this little trinket that someone had told you. You know, if you ever find yourself shipwrecked out there in the flow, just smash this thing, and it will hopefully protect you. Now, you don't remember exactly what led up to this calamity. The last thing you remember, the the ship was going okay. You think that being in hibernation for so long has probably wiped out your short term memory of whatever led up to this. But presumably something made you break this little talisman you had, and you've been in this softwood spell ever since. The way that the softwood works is that it will last indefinitely in the flow, putting the person inside of it in suspended animation. And excuse me, once it's exposed to oxygen again, after a couple of minutes, it will dissolve and the person will wake up. So that's the situation you find yourself in.
Okay. But can't nobody breathe around me? I thought there was no oxygen.
Looking around, you can see that clearly the air envelope of your original ship, the Enchanted Anchovy, is gone. And this nautiloid has docked next to your ship, and you are now within that air bubble.
Oh,
There
man.
they go again.
Oh,
Bye.
they don't care about the air bubble. They just want to leave.
Yeah.
I think Sky just wants attention.
Just
Wow.
ran away.
You attention
Okay.
seeking
Yeah,
bitch.
Sky, you attention-seeking whore. Like, what is your problem? Just kidding.
Are you really
Okay.
kidding?
So, yeah, you're in this air bubble from the other ship. Your ship's air bubble is gone, somehow.
Okay. Mm,
So, how did you get here?
Who are you?
I don't know. Who are you people?
No, 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 no,
that's
no.
not how this game
We're
works.
asking the questions.
You're in my space.
No. This is a salvage ship, and you are a prisoner.
A prisoner? What the hell
Okay,
did that
we're
come
not
from?
I'm the captain
Because
of the ship. You're not taking
The way
So,
the
I would
way
sneak
the
down below
rules
deck.
work,
Okay.
the way the rules work are very simple. When you board a salvage ship, Dwarven Charter says all living beings there are prisoners until they're proven to be ally or an enemy. And then if they're an enemy, they're dealt with. If they're an ally, they're released.
As soon as I hear Dwarven, I'm gonna walk away towards the captain's quarters.
Okay.
Oh.
And as the
So-
only person here with official charter that I got somewhere back there, I gotta say, yes, you're the captain of the ship, but I'm not on your ship right now. I'm on this salvage ship. Therefore, I'm taking this prisoner until this prisoner has proven not to be harmful to the rest of us.
You wouldn't have gotten on this ship if it weren't for my ship.
You wouldn't have had anything to eat if it weren't for my people.
You just
So,
hear me from the captain's
starve.
quarters start to like.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm just like looking between the two
Just
of them, going, "Oh,
Do
fuck."
whatever you wish to do, but when the goblin
I'm
has
just
proven
saying,
to be an ally,
you can
then
catch
I
more
will no
flies
longer-
with honey.
Okay. So as
you guys see
they
more fishes than anything else.
as they
Crap.
continue to argue about whether or not this mystery goblin is a prisoner or a guest, the rest of the crew just sort of filter off to explore on their
but
own.
a dwarven prisoner and guest are the same thing. I'm sorry,
They're the same word.
this is the word. I'm just, you know,
So, Namek Volka, we're gonna follow you first, because
Ah.
that seems like the better narrative. Um, so you You open up the door that leads to it's in the front of the ship. You can tell just from like the decoration and everything, and it's got this wooden sign over that says Captain's Quarters. You pop it open, and it definitely looks like you would imagine a ship's captain's room to look like. There's like this plush red velvet and curtains everywhere.
Ooh.
There's this big fancy wooden table. And sat behind the table is this large opulent chair with this red velvet lining it.
I'm gonna
Um,
go over to the chair and I'm just gonna kind of like sit in it.
okay,
And,
well,
like,
there's already something sitting in it.
oh,
Um,
I'm gonna sit on that thing that's sitting in.
Awkward.
okay, well, let me tell you how many spikes it has.
I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna
no.
do that. That's
So, what is sitting in this chair is this statue of what appears to be a man, sort of slumped down. And his face has this look of worry. His hands are tight on the armrests. And judging by the clothing that the statue is wearing, which it's either a statue or it's someone that's been turned to stone, based on the evidence you've seen so far. But the clothing that it was wearing definitely makes it look like it was the captain or some other sort of important officer.
okay. Uh, I'm gonna kind of walk up to it and look at like his facial expression and be like, same. And then I'm going to inspect the body a little bit closer just to kind of see if there was anything on him that, or anything even near him that would kind of be useful or helpful to try and kind of like figure out the narrative of the situation.
So, he had, it looked like attached to his belt, a rapier, which is also turned to stone with him. And then you can also see on that same belt was a large key, which is also now stone.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ! Everything on here is fucking stone. Um, I'm gonna try. Oh wait, so the key would be inseparable from him, correct?
You could attempt to pull it away.
Okay, I'm gonna try and do that then. I'm gonna see if I can separate the key from him.
Okay. How do you want to do that? Are you gonna just give it a good yank, or are you gonna try and be a little bit
I kind of want to be a little bit
careful with it?
more precise with it, and I'm gonna try and use my rapier to kind of like chisel away at it.
Okay, why don't you make a sleight of hand check?
Okay. Sleight of hand. Oh, perfect. That will be a 21.
Okay. So it's definitely part of this petrified person here. But it looked like it had been dangling to the point where you think you can chisel away, right at where it was hanging from the belt without causing too much damage to the surrounding area.
Okay,
Um,
perfect.
and you do manage to do that, and this stone key just sort of pops off the belt.
Whew. Nice. Now, I wonder where this thing goes. Are there any kind of like extra doors in here, or maybe like any small, like, does it look like a door key, or does it look like it goes to maybe like a chest or like a cabinet or
Is there
something?
a giant
Just
treasure
looking,
chest?
Yeah.
just looking at it, you can't tell what it might go to. But there's nothing else um, around the room that looks particularly interesting. There's like it's clean, like it's been here for a while and no one's been through here. So while you're wondering about that, what this key is for, we're gonna
Yes.
go down to Scabby, who
All
has
right.
snuck down into the hold of the ship.
Mhm.
Yes, Scabby.
So what you see down here is this is a large room that looks like it's taking up the majority of the body of this vessel. That would be where all the um, uh, you know cargo would be. And then in the back of this room, leading towards the back of the ship, um, there's another door, and over that is this wooden sign that just says crew quarters. There's not a whole lot in this hold, except for 2 large chests. Well, 1 large chest and 1 small chest. That are both sort of like lashed up in the back of the room there.
Oh, I like. I want to go take a peek in that crew quarters door though to make sure there's nothing hiding back in there. Just like, open the door and take a look inside.
Okay. So you open up that door, and
I'm like side eyeing those chests the entire time. Like they're what I really want to be. Safety.
Right. So you open up the door. Why don't you make a perception check?
What was that?
Why don't you make a perception check?
You said a check of some type.
Perception.
Perception. Okay. Connection was cutting in and out on me. That's a 7.
Okay.
Eyes on the chest.
You're pretending to be careful, but it's very difficult to look away from the loot.
I know I should be careful.
So you don't see anything moving. You can see that there were a bunch of bunks set up here. And then there were a couple of private rooms, it looks like, on the side. One of those doors is hanging open. You can see there's chunks of stone strewn about the floor here, too. One of them is an entire arm. But in one of those private rooms, you can see on one of the beds is a statue that looks like it's mostly intact. And you can take a closer look if you want to go in.
Yeah, intact statue would be a curiosity. I don't know anything about the crew, so that would be information I could.
So, lying on one of the beds is a statue of a huge woman. She looks human. If this statue were standing upright, you guessed she must have been probably a little bit over 6 feet tall.
Okay.
She's got a rather plain face with this long, messy, tangled hair. And the expression she was making when she turned to stone is just this grimace that's now permanently on her face. She does not look happy about what's happened. She's got her arms folded over her chest, and they are just bulging with muscle. Otherwise, the clothing she was wearing looks like it was a sailor's uniform that was pretty roughed up and probably stitched back together several times.
Okay. And there's no like obvious cause of death, just turned to stone.
Petrification, if that counts. Otherwise, there's no immediate wounds on her that you can see. No. There's probably some scars on her arms, but they don't look like, they look like they were scars.
Okay. I want to give this room a thorough search because.
Okay. Make an investigation check for this one now.
I'm rolling like crap tonight. That's a 6.
Okay. So
there's chests out there.
There are chests out there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You take a look around the room, and there's not a whole lot to see. The one thing that you do note is that there were no weapons. You can't find any weapons that were stowed. So this woman seemed to have been unarmed. And then you hear this thump.
Reflexive invisibility.
And nothing else seems to follow that. And you actually think that thump might have come from outside the ship.
Okay. I do have invisibility, so we're going to cast. Outside the ship, do I get an idea of left, right?
On the opposite side of the wall from this this room that you're in.
Okay, so it's on the side of the ship I'm on right now.
Yeah.
I want to back away from that wall and make my way back up to the deck.
Okay.
Is that small chest something I can grab and go with?
Sure. You could. Yeah, it's small enough.
Okay. So yeah, I'll
You would
grab the
it would
small-
take you a moment to undo the chains, but it doesn't look like it's. They were there to keep it from
from
banging
moving
around.
around
You
in the
can,
hold.
you can
Okay.
get it out. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So I guess the next thing they're going to see is a chest floating up on the deck.
Right. And Namek Volka, I assume you're done in the captain's quarters if there's nothing else you can find of interest in there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like slowly kind of jaunt out and be like, I wish that bitch wasn't in the way. I could have sat on that chair. It looks so comfy. But alas, he died there. And then I'm gonna see that flowing chest and I'm gonna be like, whoa, what the fuck?
So I have good news and bad news.
Good news and bad news.
Ooh, the chest is talking. Tell me, oh, wonderful chest, what is the news?
That is Scabby's
It's-
voice.
Oh.
actor.
Scabby, don't be dramatic.
Oh, hi friend.
It's not like you've spent months in
I know,
close
shit.
proximity.
I bristle a little bit when he calls me friend. Okay, so good news. Chest. There's another one down there, bigger. Bad news. We might not be alone. Something went bump outside.
Oh fuck.
You mean like on the outside of the ship?
Is
We-
there another outside? Yes, on
we
the
have
outside.
we have a perfectly good goblin here who could answer questions, but nobody wants to ask any questions.
Well, the goblin seems to be very confrontational, so I'm not gonna ask it any questions.
Can I see this all happening?
You can, yeah, you're standing
you're
right
literally
there.
right here.
Feel
Oh, okay.
free to butt
You
in.
guys
This
are
was
all a
your
bunch
ship.
of thieves. Thieves.
Yes.
Bandits.
Next
I've
question.
done nothing.
You know what? I'm just gonna cast silence. Like, no, I'm just kidding. I would not do that. I'm tempted.
Now, Kadira,
Yes.
you do know what this ship was.
Okay.
You guys called yourself a pirate ship, but you weren't really pirates. You never really robbed anyone. You probably wouldn't have been good at it anyways.
Mhm.
Mostly, you looked for adventure and didn't do very well finding it.
Not.
But you
pirate
called
rats.
yourself.
Oh my god,
Not
I was gonna
So a bunch
say,
of
fucking
outsiders?
don't.
Yeah, what's that?
So a bunch of outsiders? Just trying to be outlaws?
Yeah, wannabe pirates, basically.
Rebels without
I
a clue.
resent that statement. I am not pirate.
Are you?
No.
I'm pretty sure you are.
The other thing that you know is that the captain talked about what would happen if you guys ever got shipwrecked out here in the flow. Apparently he had something. There was something on the ship that was supposed to be a failsafe in case the worst happened. You kind of zoned out because you had your little trinket and you didn't really care about what they were talking about. So you're not sure. You just know something on the ship was supposed to help in a situation like this.
Do I know if it was like alive or some kind of object? Or...
Why don't we have you make an intelligence check? How much
Okay.
intelligence did you give your goblin?
1.
Good.
One.
Good.
Good. Great.
Wow, that's an above average intelligence for a goblin.
I love it. Good.
Good.
So, all right. So what'd you roll in that in check?
13.
Okay. It was something not alive. It was something that he was storing somewhere. The captain was storing somewhere, and is like, if we ever, get shipwrecked out there, this'll help. That's really all you remember. You didn't care. You had your little trinket. You were just playing with it at the time that they were talking about this.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, by the way, I found a key.
To
looks-
what?
I really don't know, but
Why don't you know?
Give it here. This is mine.
There's a
Well, what
chest
does
there.
it go to?
I don't know, but it's mine. It's a key. I want it.
No. We're gonna
Yes.
find out what it goes to. It might be important.
See,
It
and
was
this
on the
is why
captain.
we needed to make the goblin a prisoner first.
No,
unlock it
I'm no longer
myself.
prisoner.
Okay,
Fear me. I am 3 feet of awesomeness.
Well, they argue. I'm
I'm
going to unlock
almost
the
7 feet, but I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Well, you see. Hold on, Scabby. Did you find anything? What is that? A chest? Is it locked?
He's already trying to pick this lock. It is in fact locked. Why don't you make a lock picking check?
Oh, that's not bad.
It's still a fail.
No, it's a dirty. That's a 22.
Okay. This lock was actually pretty complex. And it takes you a little bit, but you are able to pop it open. And as you pop it open, it's got this really nice velvety inside,
Fancy.
and lying inside of it is this amulet on this nice silver chain.
Not a face hugger. Good.
No.
Uh,
It's this black circle with a hole in the middle of it, and it's etched with all these magical looking runes. I will put a picture of it right here.
ooh, runes. They scare me.
Oh,
Okay.
I know what it is, but I gotta shut up.
Do I recognize what that is? Is it a religious object?
It's not a religious object.
Okay.
Can I try to make a? I don't know. It looks
Oh.
very not spiritual, but it looks very old. I was gonna say I was gonna make a history check on it.
You can make a history check. That's fine.
Oh, nice. 14.
You can't really think of any sort of significance
I've
based
returned.
on history.
Hello.
This amulet is not really familiar to you.
It looks important, but I can't pinpoint it. I don't have a point of reference, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And you said it's really not religious, so
It's
knowledge
not-
of religious wouldn't
No.
be helpful.
Yeah, religious. Nobody is pulling up anything religious on this. Scabby, if you want to make an Arcana check.
That's a 21.
You might have run into something like this before. I don't know if you've run into something like it specifically, but
If it's something
amulets
that would
like
scare
this.
me, I probably run into it.
It's what?
If it's something that would scare me, I think I would remember it.
Well, that's tough to say because a lot of things scare Scabby.
It does.
But just based on the runes on it, this has something to do with planar travel.
Okay. Well, that's cool. That's something I have done some poking and prodding in. Mostly in the realm of what happens to my soul when I die. Planar travel. That's good. That's good. Did Kadira say anything about the captain's escape plan or failsafe? No.
No,
Kadir, are
because you guys aren't being nice.
Okay.
I'm ignoring you. That's as nice as I can be right now.
That's true. You're not like the other one.
Ooh,
Shit.
savage.
So, this valuable
I don't know. It was in a locked chest, right?
statement, not a question.
Yeah, Kadira, you have not seen this before.
Okay.
You do know that the last haul that you guys brought on board, everyone celebrated it, but it kind of wasn't that good, except for this one chest that nobody seemed to be able to get open.
Okay.
So you think this might have been that. Now,
No. we still do have that bump outside the ship that I need to remember to worry about.
That's okay. We have something to find that requires a key, which I have. Did you
It
happen?
might have been that chest that he just opened.
I'm gonna try it real quick to see if the if that was in fact the key to the chest.
I'm not putting the amulet down, but I'm going to go look over the side of the ship and see
Okay.
if there's anything out there that I need to worry about.
So Namek Volka attempts to see if this key would have fit in the lock, and it would not have.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I have more to look for.
Scabby, you look over the side, and it's just swirling mist far down as you can see, which may or may not be what you want to see.
Wait, didn't you say you heard something off the side of the ship?
Uh huh.
From this, was it this general area? Do you know?
Well, I went below deck and across this larger hold area where I found the chest. Then there's the
Mhm.
crew quarters, and then outside the boat on that side of the ship, I heard a thump.
Hmm.
Why don't you guys just
Mhm.
all go
If-
over there?
If we really need someone to check it out, I can jump off
Please,
and then dimension door back up.
please.
Please do it. No, don't say
Like-
please.
You know, it'll be
That sounds
It'll be-
exciting.
like, I mean, I assume I'm going to. There's going to be something down there, but there's going to be no kind of real gravity. I can look around, but at least if I remember where the position is, in a short time, I can get myself back up here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let that one go jump off.
Have you done
Okay.
this before?
But I'm going to take the prisoner with me.
No, that was not part of
No.
the plan.
All right, whatever.
No.
If you really need somebody to go with you, I'll go with you. I don't want to.
Well,
but I'll
no.
go.
My only concern is I can bring objects. Oh wait, no. I can bring one willing creature of my size or smaller.
Uh-oh.
You don't really fit that.
Torkar is sort of sitting back on your ship, like watching all of this in amusement. He's like, they're at it again. And he just calls out, why don't you just tie a rope around his belly and haul him back up?
Why would I
That's
do
too much
that?
work. It's too much work.
Everyone's like, "Why? That's stupid." Like,
I don't trust their not tying.
Do we have
skill.
rope?
You're the only sailor here. No.
Torkar's like, do we have rope, lad? This is a ship.
do we?
We got more rope than we know what to do with.
Oh.
I mean, well, there's big tentacle things hanging out the front of the ship, but I don't know if those are rope.
Wouldn't recommend tying those around him. They squeeze a little bit.
Big tentacle things.
Sure, rope trick.
Into the rope. I'll go down there on that rope, but I'm still having that spell just back in case, because I can't trust they're gonna pull me up fast enough, or pull me up at all.
Wow.
Okay.
Given what I've just said.
Wow. Okay.
So you guys tie a rope around the dwarf and begin lowering him down the side of the ship to see what's down there. Kadira, you have a moment to yourself as they're all distracted by this.
Thank God.
What do you want to do? Are you going to watch what goes down, or do you want to do something else?
Do I? No, I wouldn't have paid much attention to where the captain would have stowed that failsafe. Huh?
No, but most of the stuff that wasn't cargo was stored in the back half of the ship near the galley, opposite side from the captain's quarters.
Okay, well, they're all doing their thing. I'm gonna go search for the captain's failsafe.
Okay. So,
Oh, can I go? Can I go with? Because I'm like, maybe you might need this key. I'm gonna follow.
Kadira, are you okay with that? With this person following you?
I'm okay with that. Just if we find it, I use it.
Okay, and
Guys,
if you
let's
find it,
suffer.
I'll play my musical instruments and be loud.
Okay. So you can hear Ermos being lowered down off the side of the ship slowly and carefully with, I guess, Scabby and Noel are the last, or Ashera, as well as there as well. Ashera probably is the most physically fit somehow to do that.
The 15-year-old, yo!
Oh, wow.
Strong.
Somehow is
But
fit.
no, you got your big giant wolf there, and he's just got
Yeah. You got
the
muscle.
rope in his teeth. Yeah. So Kadir and Namek Volka, you head into the back of the ship,
Mhm.
and there's several rooms back here. Most of which are used for storage, and then the galleys back. Where do you want to start your search?
Mm,
Where do you think? Well, I mean, you don't remember, but where would you think that the captain would have actually had this located?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be stuck here.
Fair enough. So what were the locations that we could search again? Sorry.
There's a couple of rooms. They look like they're small little storage cabins, and then there's the galley in the back. You can see the sign over the galley.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go straight to the galley.
I'm gonna try one of the storage rooms.
Okay. So, Kadira, you
Yeah.
head back into the galley, and you can see there's some broken remains of your crew back here too. But looking around the kitchen, you find in the corner of the kitchen is this pile of old bundled sackcloth. And laying on top of the bundle is the statue of this halfling girl, with her arms behind her head and her feet kicked out as if she were resting comfortably. And you recognize this was the ship's cook, a halfling by the name of Half Pint Theo. Last time you saw her, she was cooking happily, and now she's a statue and actually still looks pretty happy,
Oh,
considering.
okay.
But that's all you find back here. Namek Volka.
Mhm.
You start going through these storage rooms, and most of them are empty or just have like rope and rigging and stuff for running a ship. And then eventually you run across this shelf that has a cabinet on it with a large iron lock.
Ooh.
Ooh. I'm gonna be immediately like, key time, and I'm gonna try and put the key in it.
Make another sleight of hand check.
No. Okay, hold on. Sleight of hand, you said?
Yeah.
No, and then the campaign just ends there.
Well, everyone perishes on the ship, I guess.
Yeah, because he wouldn't make a sleight of hand check.
Sometimes you just have to participate in the plot you sign.
Uh, so I got a 15 on that.
Okay. This key was clearly not originally supposed to be made of stone, and that may have compromised its durability. But you're able to turn it, and get this lock to turn. The key then breaks right in half, but you've
Oh.
already opened up the
Ooh.
cabinet.
Oh, it worked, but I'm gonna call out and be like, "Yo, what's your fucking name again?" we
I'll be like, wait for me. I have
opened
little legs.
I opened
And
something.
I'm running.
I just hear this. I hear like this.
You hear like little ants.
Right.
Like this.
Okay.
I found this chest, this thing, and I unlocked it. Let's open it
Uh-huh.
together as one.
That's gay as shit.
Okay, so the two of you pop this cabinet open together, and inside of it is this leather potion case with about a dozen potions with this sickly yellow liquid in them. And there's a tag on the potion case that just reads, use in case of emergency.
Oh shit.
So I use all of them. Got
No,
it.
do not use them. I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna take a look at these potions, and I'm gonna okay, we have to take this up because maybe there's someone part of our crew who actually knows what the fuck this is. So let's
Yeah. Are they labeled in any kind of way that we could tell?
So when you take a closer look at the actual potion bottles,
Mhm.
there is a small label on them. Doesn't say what the potion is, but the label says applied directly to calcified crew member, and it's sort of scribbled in actual handwriting.
Oh shit. Wait. The captain, he might know. I want to sit in his chair. Let's go.
You want to wake them up with this yellow
Well,
pea?
he's your
This
Yeah, let's go rub.
yellow pea.
Let's
You
go.
want to wake him up with yellow potion to ask him what the yellow potion does?
Yeah, let's go rub some pee on the captain. He might have some insight. Let's go and be like, hey yo, I woke you up to ask what the fuck this shit does. I mean, he's your captain. I mean, fuck.
Hell yeah, maybe he can help me get rid of you.
Yeah, there you go. So we never have to fucking see you again. Like whatever.
Yeah,
fuck
perfect.
You.
Okay, so you guys walk back out on the deck, and you can see Ermos is still has been lowered down the side of the ship. So Ermos, you've got this rope tied around it, and you're just dangling down, going further and further down the side of the ship, and you don't see anything. The side of the ship looks undamaged. There's nothing down there. And then you finally hit the. You're dangling down below, so you can see the actual bottom of the ship now.
So seeing the actual bottom, now the sides there was nothing. Seeing the bottom, there's nothing. I don't physically see anything at the bottom now either, right?
Magic. There's nothing on the bottom of the ship that.
Okay. Well, I'll give the ship a good knock, and I'll start pulling myself up the rope.
And as you do that, something grabs you from behind.
Perfect.
Oh, geez, I always forget to look behind.
And it sort of twirls you around, and you're looking into the face of this huge. It almost looks like if you could imagine what an ogre would look like with like sickly yellow flesh and just a mouth full of razor sharp shark teeth.
Okay.
We're gonna get back to this old school D&D art there, but
Oh, beautiful.
Perfect.
Oh, it's you.
there you go.
Okay.
And it seems to just be floating there in the flow. Like it's not standing on anything, it's just hovering there. And it grabs you in these claws and brings you close to it with these razor sharp teeth. And
There's
it
a
just
goblin up there if you want to eat it. It's better than me.
No,
It's a little
bye-bye.
more tender.
Bye-bye.
and he hisses at you and just says, "Meat for the great father."
Yay.
It's perfect. You have more meat than I do.
Okay. I have an answer for.
We didn't get audio on that, or I didn't, anyways.
Oh, I said. Yeah. Okay. So he has me. Actually, I am now held, or kind of just like.
We're not
on the
going to say
waves,
it's a
or-
grapple check yet,
Okay.
because we haven't made any rolls. But he's holding on to you.
Well, I instinctively looking right at him. It's like if I can, it's cast banishment. Be gone, like out of my face.
Okay.
Oh,
So what's the saving throw on this?
charisma 14.
Oh, he's not great at that.
But he seems so suave.
Okay. He does fail that because he's got a -2 at charisma. So he just pops out
Yeah. So
wherever you've sent him.
okay. So as the way I understand it, if he's native to the plane of existence we're on, which then I banish him to a harmless place, and when the spell's over, he comes back in about a minute. If the target is native to a different plane, he returns to his home plane.
Now, I actually have a question as the DM to the players that are going to be more experienced.
Yeah.
I'm asking myself the exact same question that's going to pass your lips.
Does the spellcaster know whether or not the target was native to the plane and is gone permanently, or if they're going to pop back?
No, I would imagine, unless you have like very distinctive information about that target, I would say I have no clue if it's going to come back in a minute or if he's going to have to find his way back to us eventually. But either way, he's out of my hair for a minute. That's
Okay,
all I
then
care
I
about.
was wrong. Not the same question. Are we on the prime material plane right now?
The answer to that is no,
Okay.
you are not.
What plane are we on right
Whatever
You
plane-
are
we're
between
on,
planes.
Delta.
I thought so.
Yeah.
We're kind of between the ethereal and the astral, right? Is that
She
kind
could
of
have sent us home this entire fucking time.
Are we?
No.
Are we on a 747?
A 747?
The flow, as far as I don't think there is a this because no one really understands what the flow is or where it came from. I think what people seem to think is that it's kind of a buffer zone where all of the other planes just sort of, whether or not that's true, who knows. So we're gonna go with you don't actually know whether or not this is permanent because that's more fun.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, my concern is I don't care if he comes back in a minute because I won't be there in a minute.
Right.
I will be up there.
Okay.
Move fast.
But I don't think I'll be able to dimension door up. I think I will have to climb. Was it? Oh, no, wait. Because it's banish concentration?
Yeah, but Dimension Door's not.
Yeah, you can
That's
still
true.
dimension door.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yep. So, Flash, he's got me. He disappears.
Oh.
I go, dimension door, I appear right at the top, and I go, everything's fine down there for right now.
You do have
It
another
will not be
problem, though.
fine soon.
Banish and Dimension Door are both 4th level spells, and you have 1 slot.
No, I have no slots.
Then
So I can't dimension door, actually. No,
Oh, okay,
I had
bye.
to, because I cast the banishment, I can't dimension door.
Right.
That's
so
right.
that'll be a
So I
problem.
have to, so I will have to climb up. That's fine. I'll
Okay.
climb up. And instead of waiting for them, I'll climb, and I only got a 7 to an 8 for athletics, so I'm not going to be doing it that fast.
Okay. That said, by the frenzied pulling on the rope, everyone up on the ship can pretty much tell that that's probably not normal.
Did anybody else just hear a train?
I did.
Yeah,
I do
that's
too.
I
outside
heard
my
one
window.
Okay, I was like, wait, what?
Choo-choo,
I
motherfucker.
could tell because like Kevin's thing lit up green. He wasn't talking. I'm like,
For
oh,
anyone who's played Monopoly, the Reading Railroad runs like 2 blocks from my house.
Oh, okay.
okay.
I was just confused because I've never heard it before. So I didn't know who it was coming from.
Reading Railroad. I'm just kidding.
So, Namek Volka and Kadira come out of the galley there,
Yo, we
Um,
found something.
Yeah.
with with this potion case, and they can see everyone is now like trying to pull Ermos up.
Oh shit.
Be like,
Okay.
you should go help with that. I'll stay here with this stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and like help out with it, because I feel like I'm gonna go run over and help with the pulling and the tugging of the rope.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'll assist on that.
the crew of the Nautilus are pulling this rope up. Kadira, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna help as well? Or are you gonna do something?
No, I'm gonna take those things and go run towards the captain's thing and see if I can find anything.
Okay. So
I'm
the
just gonna
goblin,
take them. I'm gonna scoop them up and run.
the goblin grabs the potion case and leaves these strangers on. Is Kadira a he or a her? I don't know if we covered.
Neither.
Or
Jen-
other.
Okay. It is right. They grab the potion case and just run towards their petrified captain, leaving these strangers on the ship to fend for themselves. Who cares? Kadira, when you make it into the captain's quarters and you see him there, his name, by the way, is Hedwig Salamander. What are you gonna do?
Mm, I want to see if I can find like anything he might have written on, like about what the failsafe would be, because I wasn't really paying attention.
Make a perception check.
Okay. $16.
Okay. Looking around the room, no. It does not look like he wrote anything and left it in his quarters that you can. But there was the writing on the actual potions itself. You don't know if that's what he was talking about.
Sure. Oh, it said to like just rub it on the captain.
Apply directly to calcified crew member, written in handwriting.
Apply
Calcified
directly to
criminal.
the forehead.
Okay, well, I'm gonna apply it to the captain and see what happens.
All right. How do you want to apply it?
Directly to his forehead.
Why not? Directly to his forehead.
Okay. You pour that potion directly on your petrified captain's forehead. And this liquid like bubbles like acid as it comes out.
Oh.
And
Okay,
just
so I'm gonna
drips.
take a step back. Cause like, whoa.
Drips down all over this petrified figure. And as it sizzles, that stone starts to flake away. And
Metamorphosizing.
Hedwig sort of sits up. And he's like, What's going on? How long has it been? Oh, Kadira,
Yeah.
what are you doing here? Wait a minute, hold on. And he feels, and he's like, oh, my mustache. Yes, it's still good. Okay, good.
Perfect.
Kadira, what's going on here?
Feel like, I need your help. Like everyone on the ship is like petrified. I found these potions with these strangers that are outside that want to take stuff.
Don't want to take stuff.
Invaders on the enchanted anchovy.
Rude.
Yes.
But Kadira, you found the basilisk potions. And you saved me. You've saved the ship. I always knew you were my most loyal and not lazy crew member. Besides all those other times that you just, I don't know. Never mind that. Don't worry. Come on, we've got to save the ship. We got to save the rest of the crew. Where are the rest of the crew?
There's fingers all over the.
Fingers over there.
There's body parts over there.
There's toes,
the-
there's
the
livers,
cook-
there's
The cook is still
Fingers
whole
and toes.
in the galley. That's about it. That's all I saw.
Oh dear.
There's
I
fingers.
don't think the potion's going to be a good idea.
Do it. Use the potion on the finger.
Gonna get messy.
Okay,
Wait,
I have
wait.
a plan.
What if we glue the body parts back together and then put the potion?
Oh my god, have you seen American Horror Story? That'd be awful.
Um, no, Kadira, don't worry. I, your fearless captain, Hedwig Salamander, have a plan. Follow
What
me.
is that plan?
Follow me, and you shall see my young apprentice and my new first mate.
Oh, that's perfect.
Promotion.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm
he-
like, yes, promotion.
As you guys are pulling Ermos up the railing of the ship, Hedwig Salamander, in his full captain's regalia, bursts out and says, "Aha, avast mateys, you come to the pirate ship, the Enchanted Anchovy. Welcome, welcome. Now that you are here, I beg your help in rescuing us. Please let us come with you."
Yeah, sure.
This ship is crashed.
Yeah, of course.
That's your big plan?
Really?
We
We're
have
a little
one,
busy right now.
I'm the
We have
captain
one
of that ship
other-
right there, and you can come with us. That's completely okay.
Let's go
we
fucking
have one little
now.
problem down here.
Oh yes. Let's finish getting him up onto the actual ship. Unfortunately,
Yeah, let's just go.
Um,
Let's get him up and
that was some
run.
panicked
Okay.
tugging. What happened?
So, I was just down there minding my own business, checking out the ship.
Uh-huh.
Everything seemed fine with the ship. Structurally, we're good.
We don't care
Okay.
about that. We care about
As
what
I
you
was
saw. I'm just sorry.
It's important. It's important because
Yeah.
as I was coming back up, something like an ogre, not an ogre, but like an ogre, grabbed me, and
Okay.
I sent his ass to the 9 heavens or the 12, 15, whatever, whichever one
The
this
7-Eleven.
symbol's from. That one. I just sent him away for a few minutes. Probably gonna come back. He's probably mad. He probably wants to eat. He called me meat, so he most likely wants to eat me.
Okay.
We're leaving like now.
I've
Yeah,
never
let's-
seen him before, so I think we need to go. Yeah.
From your ship, Torkar calls out, Captain, we got a problem here.
Half of us
Oh.
turn around. What?
Yeah,
No.
Hedwig's like, what? What's that?
Just all of us turn.
Torkar's like, no, not you with the mustache. I don't know. The rest of you, all of you. There's something climbing up the side of the ship.
Fuck.
And he gestures back behind his shoulder, and you just see this claw pull itself up,
Yay.
Does it look
and then
like
a second claw, and a third, and a fourth.
Oh.
What?
And this yellowish four-armed creature with
that?
these razor jaws pulls itself up onto the nautiloid and just says, "Meat for the great father."
Eldritch Blast time.
It's
I'm
about
just
7
like-
o'clock, so that's probably where we should leave it if we can continue on. I only plan to do a one-night thing, but
I'm okay.
You want to
with
finish
we
that.
up
wanna
next
do-
week? I have zero problems with that.
Yeah, I'm fine
You
to
might
continue
need it,
next week.
Kevin. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was gonna say my last words were, "You take care of that guy. I'll go get the other two."
then that's going to be the to be continued until next week, where apparently we're going to have another Spelljammer.
Oh boy.
Yay!
Oh, I can't wait to use some of these new spells. Woo!
Spelljammer's always a nice like interlude to our normal D&D
A
playing.
palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, next time we're going to figure out what happens to Hedwig and Kadira. We're going to find out whether or not they can get that other chest down from below.
We're gonna
and
find
who
out if
gets
that
eaten?
guy comes back.
All of
I
us
wanna
get
know.
eaten. Yay!
So, until then, let's start our goodbyes with how about, because he never gets to start it out, Kevin?
All right. Well, I'm going to start out by once again thanking Oliver for running tonight. I really I needed this. The real world is chaotic, and I like to ignore it for at least 2 hours at a time. And this was a great time to do that. So next week's session, there's a lot of chaos involved, but I really I think we should have our normal Sunday game, Curse of the Azure Bonds, and then back here for this on Monday night. Derek runs his game on Fridays, which I play in, and a bunch of the others. But this was excellent. I enjoyed every minute of us screwing things up. And then let's go over to Derek, who's normally not a part of our Monday night.
Yeah, I'm normally not here on Mondays. Yeah, well, I'm in the audience, but you can find me on Twitter at Disposable Idiot. You can find me here running Fridays. When schedules permit and things permit. We've had a little rockiness, but that's what happens. Besides that, run several other games. So why don't we just move on to Nick?
Well, hello everyone. Yes, Blue Aura 94 YT is going to be where you'll find me on Twitter. Blue Aura
You
94
just-
everything else.
You're
You
muted,
just-
dude.
audio
That's all you
just
need to
went
know, apparently.
Hello? What?
Nothing.
Hello.
We need to know nothing.
You
Yeah.
muted halfway through your Twitter thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Wait, really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's
Yep.
no sound.
Okay, weird.
Like you weren't even lighting up.
Fine, Blue Aura 94 YT. That's going to be my Twitter. It showed sound on this side, so I don't know what the hell happened there. But,
Awkward.
Awkward. Everything else, just Blue Aura 94. You'll find me on Animal Crossing. I'm not gonna give random strangers my friend code.
Why not?
Why not?
I can give a dodo code if people want, but it'll give me some time. I'm working. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna pass out as soon as we're done with this, cause
Nick should run a Humblewood game at some point.
Yeah.
So when the Sunday game finishes up, which is going to be sometime soon, Humblewood will be on
Not
its way,
soon.
baby. What?
I'd say we're about a 2/3 point for the Sunday night game.
Okay,
They'll start preparing. You should also do
Mhm.
like have a couple one-shot things.
yeah, I can
And,
do
like-
a couple one-shots. So yeah, Humblewood in the
Just
near
so.
future, we're gonna get excited. I have to revamp those characters because I need to actually put more detail into them. But I digress. I'm going to move it right over to our ski.
Hey,
Eh.
that's me.
Is it?
All right, you can find me Fizzle on Twitter.
You cut out.
Oh, God.
Yes,
I heard
here's
Fizz
our
on
name.
Twitter.
Mm.
Fizz on
Oh.
Twitter.
Fizz on Twitter. There you go.
Fizz.
Fizzle was on Twitter. There you can find all my Animal Crossing greatness and other stuff. I don't know.
The Animal Crossing section on our Discord has been on fire. People commenting and complaining, and I don't know who that Tom Nook,
Play
I don't know
it
who
at
that
this
Tom
point.
Nook guy is, but he's apparently an asshole.
Mm.
No,
He's an
Tom Nook's
asshole. He
cool.
sucks
He's
a
your
lot of money.
typical capitalist.
No, he's good. You get no interest loans. You pay them back whenever the fuck you want. Like,
That's-
yo.
That's how they get you in.
Yeah,
Is
but
there
there's
any
wait.
he
better
also
way
has
to
a
have
really
a loan?
traumatic past.
Oh.
That's like
Yeah, that's
Sometimes it's
sad.
like spider-based economy. I don't know.
Also, those kids he has with him aren't really his kids, so I don't really trust him.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
come on.
it's a mentorship, you know.
Yeah, jeez. Who are you to judge?
I'm judging him.
You don't
Also,
play
I'm
Animal
trying
Crossing.
to-
You don't get to judge.
I played New Leaf.
I'm trying to find very expensive places to sell my turnip. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
mine's like
Yeah, don't come-
148. I don't know what you bought them for.
96,
Oh,
Yeah, I
Hey.
think
98, whatever.
somewhere I could not remember. I bought mine for about that much too.
Okay, I'm gonna pass it off to let's go diagonally this way. So Jess,
Hello. I almost did the intro thing yet again. What the fuck is wrong with me, guys? You can find me on Sweet Ninetails on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch as of last night again. I don't know if I'll stream again tonight, but maybe. The world
Let's do
may
it.
never know.
Let's do it.
Okay, yeah, I guess after this, we're gonna stream some Final Fantasy 14 bullshit yet again. So if you want to hop in that shit,
I'm gonna
feel
try
free.
to level up.
Yeah, you bitch.
Tell them you're level 4 now.
I'm level 4
Hi.
How long have you been level 4 for?
Since
since
last
yesterday.
night.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get to level 4?
Too
Uh,
long.
There you
Too
go,
long.
judging again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it off to Jen. Have you gone yet? No.
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 Nope. Oh. Well, you can find me on Twitter at SummonerXI when I feel like posting stuff. I'd like to get into streaming again, but until then, I'll just hang out with Jess and do streaming with her. So that's where you can find me. I will pass it to who hasn't gone yet.
Oliver.
Oliver?
Oliver.
Usually I'm the last one because I can't be found
Who
anywhere.
wasn't?
And I instead plug our Discord, which is down below.
I think Oliver's the only person who hadn't gone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you are
So
last.
so yeah, I'm in the Discord, which again, don't come for me, come for the Animal Crossing. That's why everyone's actually there. Apparently.
He plays
Uh,
Animal Crossing too, though.
Yeah.
So by coming for the Animal Crossing, you're also coming for him.
Yep.
That's true.
That's true.
But
Um,
yes, thank
on
you,
the fence
Oliver,
about
again.
buying
Thank you
Animal
for
Crossing.
hosting tonight. That was
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah, and apparently we'll be doing it again next Monday, so come for that. See what happens
Excellent.
to him.
All right. I think we're at the
Nick.
part now where we shut it down.
Put it down.
Shutting it down. See you guys later. Have a great night.